Hi, my name's Doug Morgan, Assistant Secretary of Birmingham National Education Union, and I want to start really where the last speaker started, which is that there have been horrific things that has happened to these girls, absolutely horrific things that should not have happened. And one of the things that exacerbated that was that the girls weren't listened to, and they weren't listened to by the police, they weren't listened to by prosecutors, partly because some of the girls would have been girls that would have just been seen as trouble, you know, people who are in care, people who've had a really bad start in life, a real bad start in life, but are just seen as being trouble, just seen as being people who are a waste of time, a waste of resources. And it's within this circumstance that actually the crimes that have taken place against these girls have happened. And this is something we need to be really, really clear. We need to be really, really clear. We are against what happened to those children. We are against sexual exploitation. We think that when people come forward with a crime that they should be listened to, it should be investigated and all the rest of it. All of this should have happened, and these girls were absolutely failed by the police, by social services, by authority and all the rest of it. So we stand shoulder to shoulder with the girls that were exploited, okay? They should have a proper investigation, there should be a proper things that happen over this, and all of this stuff should be investigated properly. And I'd say that as a teacher, who takes a safeguarding really, really seriously, okay? But I also want to say this, that one of the reasons that they weren't listened to was because they were poor as well. And we can see this in the big news. We can see this in the big news with people like Prince Andrew and all the rest of it. We can see how people at the bottom of society are not listened to. And then we've got some people in this town who want to try and make a big noise, but actually don't give a toss about the girls either. They don't care about the girls either. People like Tommy Robinson and the fascist Flotsam and Jetsam that's over there, they don't care about the girls. They don't care about the girls. They want to use this to whip up hatred against Muslims. They want to try to whip up hatred against Muslims, okay? They don't care. So if it had been that the girls were groomed or whatever by white people, Tommy Robson couldn't give a toss. Could not give a toss. These girls could have been prey to other people. And we know some of this. We know some of this not just because of the racism that comes from the Tommy Robinson side, not just for the scapegoating that comes from that, but actually within their own ranks, they've had people who've been convicted of paedophilia, sex crimes and all the rest of it. So they're okay. When oppression and sexual exploitation happens by someone who's white, it's all right. That's their type of attitude. That's their type of attitude. So they are not on the side of the girls. They are not there saying there should be proper money put into public services, proper money put into social services, proper money put into schools and all the rest of it in order to deal with this, which happens time and time again. They are not there to say that. What they are there to do is to demonise Muslims. That's all they care about. They don't care about the girls. They don't care about the girls. And therefore I think we should stand up and say that actually on our side we've got people who've got a proven track record of standing up for ordinary people. Loads of us are here are public sector workers from public sector unions that have fought time and time again for more funding, time and time again for the resources that our class need, the resources that ordinary people need. And what we can see at the minute, with the 10 years plus of austerity, with the attacks that we've seen during COVID on public services, is actually more and more people are vulnerable, more and more people are in a position where they could be exploited. And they're not exploited because of the colour of their skin, they're exploited because they're powerless. They're people that can be missed, people you can ignore. That's why people get exploited. And so part of our argument today, when we say black and white unite, when we say people stand together, we are standing together for justice. We are standing together to say these things shouldn't happen. And by trying to dismiss this as being about religion, by trying to dismiss this as being about identity, what the fascists are really doing is helping to sweep crimes under the carpet, to sweep attacks on people under the carpet. And I think we have to say absolutely not. If there are people here in Telford who are saying those crimes should have have happened, we agree with you. Of course they shouldn't have bloody happened. But what the fascists are coming here to do is not to deal with that, but to try and drive a wedge in a community in order to make certain actually these things will happen again and again. You see, again, you're not going to see Tommy Robinson turning up outside Buckingham Palace to have a go at Prince Andrew and the rules. That's not going to happen because, again, from their side, if it's right, it's all right. And so we have to say we do not accept the racism that comes. We do not accept the division that comes. What we do say is that we need to make certain these things can't happen again and again. And that means having proper funding in our youth service, proper funding into social services. We need more expertise and more funding into our schools. And we have to say to the police, do your bloody job properly. That's what we have to say. They're the ones who chose to do this stuff. They should have done their job properly in the first place. So we are coming together to say it's our side that defends the girls. It's our side that is saying we're not going to accept the racism and the scapegoating that is taking place. But it's our side, Telford. It's our side that has the answer. We have to come together to say we have to label the attacks on public services as being a crucial part of making this happen. The idea that you can just forget about kids who've had a bad start in life, you can just say, no, they're always bad and they're going to end up in jail. Let's just not care about them. Let's just not care about them. We have to say that is unacceptable. It could be any of our kids that went into that position. Any of our kids could have had a bad start in life. Life is very precarious when you're out of our class. Very precarious if you're part of the working class for a lot of us. So we have to say that our services should be an absolute right. And it ain't going to surprise you that I'm going to join in with the other speakers to say it's an absolute outrage that at the same time as we're talking about our side struggling, our side precarious, and we've got all of the inflation and the energy rises that are going to come, that are going to push more people into being vulnerable, more people into being desperate. As well as that is happening, we have seen the richest in society do absolutely what they want. The richest in society see their wealth go massively up. Britain now has 171 billionaires. 171 billionaires. Now for the rich and powerful, they think that should warm our hearts. We should feel really good about that. In the last year, Britain got another 24 billionaires. Yay us, yay us. Well, absolute bullshit to that. Because where their money has come from has been from our services, has been from our class, has been from our side. That's where that has come from. And that is a crucial issue because you see, again, people like Tommy Robinson and the fascist Flotsam and Jetsam, they want to exploit this as well. So that not only do they want to exploit the girls, they want to exploit the anger that people are facing as their lives become more and more precarious. And so we have to turn around and say that the fascists have no answer. See, the fascists are bankrolled. They've got a big bloody TV screen over there. They haven't got that from a whip round in a square. These people have got serious money behind them. Tommy Robinson pretends that he's skinned. Like bollocks is he's skinned. This man has got loads of money. The fascists are bankrolled. So on our side, we have to call this stuff out. We have to absolutely call this stuff out. They are about being on the side of the richer, getting richer. They do that by trying to divide our communities. Our communities have to come together. Our communities have to come together for our own survival. We have to come together to say we have to stop the cash grab by the rich from the poor. The attacks on public services by the rich on the poor. We have to come together and say we're not going to accept the division. We're not going to accept the rubbish that their side tries to turn up for ours. We are going to stand up to them. We'll stand up to people, whether it's Tommy Robinson and his ilk, whether it's Boris Johnson and his ilk, Prince Andrew and his ilk. We're going to stand up to these people to say that ordinary people need to stand together against the attacks on our services, against the precarity in our lives, and we're going to stand up to say that we want justice. We want absolute justice, but we want justice for the people in Telford. We want economic justice, political justice. We want to stand up and say that we're going to fight for that better world. Because I tell you what, Tommy Robinson's better world is a disaster for most of us, but a world without the likes of Tommy Robinson would be a much better one for all of us. Solidarity to everyone in Telford today. Say it loud, say it clear, refugees are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. Say it
Refugees are